ridiculous, over the top.
You said, I'm a normal guy.
That's not even cringe. That's beautiful.
Hello, my name is Michael Spicer, and I don't listen to podcasts. And here's why. Yes, it seems these days there are more podcasts than there are people who listen to podcasts. More podcasts means more variety, right? The problem with any media format is that once somebody hits the jackpot with a winning formula, it is then mercilessly copied. Anyone who's had any experience pitching to television will know the feeling. Very often the feedback is, oh, we're looking for the next Fleabag, or we're looking for the next Traitors, or we're looking for the next Succession, which is why my new programme, A Succession of Treacherous Fleabags, should be coming to your screen soon. Everyone wants their podcast to rank in the podcast charts. It's only human that you should undertake a project and want to make a success of it. So they look at the podcast charts and they think, right, how can I do what they're doing? And then suddenly you've got this homogenous blob of podcasts that all kind of sound the same. And a specific voice that has emerged from this blob is that of the mindset bro. A man who will never admit to not knowing something. My philosophy is never be defeated by failure. You know, just pick yourself up, start again. And I can remember when my energy drink business folded. I couldn't look my wife in the eye, principally because I had impaired vision, a side effect of the energy drink. But do you know what I did the day after I declared bankruptcy? I went for a walk and I came up with an idea that earned me my first million. So that's what I say to people now. If you're having doubts about yourself, if you're having worries about the future, go for a walk. You know, you just don't know what you might come up with. And so do you walk every day now? Or? I don't walk anymore. I do something else. It improves not only your fitness levels, but also your mental levels. Oh, really? What's that? I call it Ollring. Ollring? It stands for Optimal Leisure Running. It's like running, but it's more leisurely. Do you mean jogging? No, it's different from jogging. This is Ollring. It's like a lighter form of running. You don't hit the ground so hard. There's more bounce with each step. Right. So you all every day. Yeah. First thing in the morning, I wake up and I go for a 5-mile all, and then I come back and have my invigoration therapy. Invigoration therapy was? I found that I was suffering every morning from tiredness and fatigue, so I built this room next to my bedroom that helps with revitalising myself, stimulating the body and my spiritual well-being. What's in this room? It's a glass cubicle which emits droplets of restorative inorganic compound from a specially made high adjustable nozzle. You mean you have a shower? No, it's not a shower. I call it a wellness capsule. It's different. Okay, can I just ask, do you increase your levels of wellness whilst you're in this capsule by washing yourself with a sponge? No, but I do enter an emulsification process, which does require the displacement of dirt through anionic detergents. So how did we get here? Journalist Ben Hammersley first coined the term podcasting when he was talking about the boom of online radio back in 2004. Pod being a popular term at the time on account of the Apple iPods, which, in my opinion, should never have gone away. I loved my iPod. I loved doing the little circular motion with my finger. I loved the little clicky noise it made. So yes, it was Apple that spearheaded this boom with the introduction of podcast subscriptions via iTunes in 2005. This was before Apple decided that the best way to improve iTunes and make it more popular was to make it increasingly more complicated with every single update, so that by 2015 you didn't know where any of your music was stored, and U2 was the only album on your shuffle even though you tried to remove it 15 times. When podcasts first started making waves, creators were able to charge a download fee. Early celebrities who dipped their toes in these waters, like Ricky Gervais, were making an absolute fortune for what appeared to be very minimal effort. Mind you, this was at a point in time when Ricky Gervais could have belched the periodic table at the O2 and sold it out. Of course, celebrities remain the number one draw when it comes to listening to a podcast. Currently, the podcast charts are full of famous writers, famous journalists, famous comedians, famous footballers, famous politicians, all with so much to say. Every week they seem to have a lot to say, every single week.
COVID, speaking of mental health, I heard you said that during the COVID period
You did suffer a little bit with your own mental health. Can you give me some detail on what you mean by that?
Right, here we go, Mr. Mayor. This is a great opportunity for some sympathetic headlines, okay? Lay it on thick, but in a tactful way.
You don't realise this at the time. So I'm somebody who, I now realise, thrives on working with people, being around people.
This is something you didn't realise about yourself. This is something most people realise when they're about 3.
I didn't really appreciate that until the pandemic.
Well, thank God for that pandemic.
And I'm lucky. I've got a decent-sized home.
Don't talk about your big house,
I've got a garden, we've got a dog.
or your big garden, or your big dog.
But I realised
What? Right?
that there
This is riveting listening so far.
wasn't a light bulb moment,
No, you don't really have those, do you?
but on hindsight, I realised
Look, I know this is a podcast, but can you please find a point? I want to go home.
I stopped shaving.
With hindsight, you realise you stopped shaving.
I wear jogging bottoms all day.
Sounds like hell on earth. What other hardships did you endure? Slippers?
I wasn't as communicative.
You're still not communicative. It's taking you half an hour to get to the middle of a sentence.
Of course, I'd shave if I was doing, morning breakfast shows.
So you did shave. I mean, this really isn't tugging at my heartstrings, Mr. Mayor.
I'd like to think that I can inspire my team. You manage people, right?
I'm going to hazard a guess that they did okay without you.
I didn't. I just didn't.
Lose the clicking. Please lose the clicking.
There was something not quite right, and I couldn't.
Oh my God, his battery's died. Has anyone got a charger?
I didn't know that in real time. I didn't. I didn't.
If you don't make a point soon, I'm going to tip your stool over.
But they were saying, and I just and
This is so painful. Get back to the hindsight thing.
in hindsight, what I realised was
Yes?
that there were things I did in my normal life
Yes?
that gave me mental fitness.
Oh my God, a full stop. I can't believe it.
And we were talking physical fitness, mental fitness, right?
Yes, we know what you're talking about. Everyone went through it. It was a global pandemic. Do you remember? Just because you've been invited onto a podcast and given some sort of strange stainless steel tankard coffee mug doesn't mean that everything you say has to be quotable. It doesn't mean that everything you say has to be printed up on a poster and stuck to the wall of a gym. God, that was really rude, wasn't it? I don't know why people hire me, I'm so rude to them. And yet my problem with podcasts is I just don't want to listen to any of them. They all have a sheen to them so that all the presenters and guests sound artificial and soulless and fake and phony. I mean, when you put a microphone in front of somebody, they change. They become insincere for some reason. I mean, do you really think that I'm like this when I've not got a microphone in front of me? No, of course I'm not. I'm like this.
Yes, that's right. You can claim capital allowances on equipment like office computers, machinery, business vehicles.
Can I say that my own car is a business vehicle?
Yes. So long as you can produce evidence that you use your vehicle to travel to meetings or to see colleagues,
Right.
or I know you catch the train, don't you, from time to time? So
Yeah, I do, yeah.
You can say that you travel by, you drive to the car.
That was me talking to my accountant whilst ironing my son's school shirts. No, it's not very interesting, but it's real. I just want to hear some realness. I think when some people are in podcast mode, they strive to be the most articulate, intellectual voice that's ever graced a microphone. And because of that, organic conversation is killed. And sometimes the people on podcasts equate eloquence and intellectual clout with just talking a lot. I wonder what it would feel like to listen to two people on a podcast who don't really have anything to say to each other. Do you get here all right? Or? Yep, fine. How are you? Good. Yeah. You? Yeah, Not too bad. Not too bad. Good weekend? Yeah. Just had a quiet one. Just quiet. You? Oh, I went to Cadbury World with the kids. Oh right. Yeah, it was my turn to have them this weekend. So. How was it? How was it? How was Cadbury World? Oh, yeah, it wasn't good. Wasn't good at all. Yeah. Well, it looks like we've run out of time for this week. Thank you very much for being on my podcast today. My pleasure. Thank you for having me. This episode was sponsored by Food to You, a fresh ingredients delivery service that doesn't make a great deal of sense to use in this economy. It's a weird tagline, isn't it? Until we see a cultural shift in the way podcasts are produced and our approach and our attitude towards podcasts, I can't be bothered. I think I'll just stick to books. Thank you very much. Yeah, I don't really read books either. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed it. And if you think there is a podcast that I should be listening to, let me know in the comments and I'll make sure that I never ever listen to it ever. Bye!